Okay, but let's
Sorry, we're getting
let's
ahead
sort
of
of
ourselves.
summarize the film. There's this group of sorority girls.
The Theta Pi girls.
Seniors.
There's the nice one.
They're seniors at College State University.
No. Let's first of all let's define them by
Oh,
their one trait.
Well, there's the nerd Ellie.
Played by Rumor Willis in her second sorority house themed film after the House Bunny.
There's there's the bitch who's kind of the leader of the group, Jessica.
Right.
There's Claire, she's Asian.
Yeah.
There's Chugs, who we thought at first was named Jugs and then thought was named Chunks, but she is the drunk who is also a slut. And then it's weird. It feels like they wanted this to be like a Jennifer's Body type thing where everyone's got like a sharp zinger, and there's a lot of like,
Although that didn't really kick in until the last third of the movie. Like the first 2/3, I don't think they were doing a whole
except
lot
for
of that.
Chugs. Chugs always had that.
Chugs had
but once Chugs died, I feel like everyone had to pick up the pace.
I don't know.
Pace
Right off the
context
bat,
sauce.
one of the characters is like, having sex with roofies, you get to have sex and a good night's sleep, and it's like, ha 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 ha.
It's
rape.
Chugs who says that.
Yeah. And there was another rape.
It's not really like Heather's level.
No, it's
not exactly.
Chugs also.
It's not exactly the Lady Eve level witticisms.
Chugs' other great line of, "I don't want to play a game of find me, rape me."
Yeah, that's right. When her therapist that she gets prescription drugs from, she walks into his house.
He's apparently fucking everyone.
He's Dr. Rosenberg. That's all we know about him. She walks into his bedroom and he's handcuffed to the bed and he goes, "My last patient left early, but we could always finish off where my last session ended." And he offers her prescription drugs and she goes, "Okay." And then
no, she doesn't say okay. She's like,
fine.
Fine. Like, she's like, just another depressing transaction of sex for drugs in the life of Chugs.
That's Chugs. Da-da-da.
He gets
first tire. And that leads to the best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Concur.
Which is Chugs' death scene.
Well, describe it, why don't you?
Chugs has picked up a bottle of alcohol from a table.
Sounds delicious.
And while she's waiting for the therapist to come out and have sex with her in exchange for drugs, this is a movie that was made. This is a movie for entertainment. And she's lying
for
down.
teens, probably.
Yes. Well, it's rated R. That's the thing. I was reading up a little bit beforehand about this because I didn't know that much about it, and apparently they were thinking of making this a PG-13 movie, and then decided to go all the way and make it an R movie, which is why we see
Mr. Movie Phone.
which is why we see a very small amount of nudity, and they say the F word a couple times.
It's not that small. I would say for a modern horror film, there's a fairly substantial amount of nudity.
But for a horror film in general,
no. But I mean, that's encompassing such grotesque and wonderful highs in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, but anyway, so she's waiting for Dr. Rosenberg to show up to have sex with her for drugs. And she's lying down on the therapist's couch drinking out of this bottle, and then the killer appears over her and seems to take the tire iron and slam it against the end of the bottle so that it gets shoved down her mouth into her throat, then slams it again so it gets pushed even farther into her throat. And what happens after that?
And you see the liquid is pouring into her mouth, and then he hits it again, and then there's
the bottle
blood.
cracks.
The bottle cracks and kind of fills with blood.
But it's such a ridiculous death scene, and it's so much more. That moment is so much more horrifying than I expected anything in the movie to be. So.
Yeah. At the beginning, the Chugs character seemed to be. I thought she was bulimic. This is why I thought her nickname was Chunks or Chucks. Because she threw up. She was kissing a guy. He's like, "You taste like vomit," and her response was, "Yeah, I just threw up, but I took a mint, so you're okay." Which he didn't. He didn't then go through with.
I liked that moment because he's like a freshman, and they're in the kitchen of the sorority house, and she's kissing him. And says, "You taste like throw up," and she says, "Blah blah." And then she sits on the tile and she's like, "Oh, I forgot to wear underwear. It's cold here. Will you warm me up?" And he's like, I'm kind of grossed out by this." And like, I liked that there was one character in the movie who wasn't like, "This is what I do as I have sex. This is all about college." Yeah,
you're reprehensible.
Like, I'm gonna have some standards here, Chugs.
But we did not follow that guy.
I kind of wish the movie had been about him.
Yeah.
And 30 years later, when he realizes, "Oh, I could have had sex with that girl. Why didn't I do that?"
Right.